All right, all right. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone back to a special beachy edition of the Happy Hour Show. We have special guest, Mr. Used to be HEX Orca, now on the Crypto Curricula. You're expanding the curriculum, is that correct? And education
Yep.
services and all that?
Yeah, and just trying to help punch through silos and echo chambers so that people can hear about our awesome stuff going on in HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, stuff like that.
Outstanding. Motley Investor,
Nice.
Big K, how y'all doing?
Good, bro. Good.
Doing wonderful. Getting ready. Getting excited.
Getting ready for what, Big K?
Getting ready to throw out the first pitch at the Cubs game in Wrigley
Let's go.
Field, June
Sweet.
15th. The game is at 7:05.
Oh, losing him.
Losing Motley a little bit.
Oh,
Or not
lost
Motley,
me.
sorry. No, Big K. Sorry. I was reading the comments while I was talking.
We're still here. It's Big K. Big K, where'd you go, bro?
Yeah. I have mediocre internet where I am, so I apologize for any drops along the way.
Please,
but no,
please,
June 15th,
please repeat.
Okay, so June 15th, if you're in the Chicagoland area and you want to go to a Cubs game where I'm throwing out the first pitch, it's a 7:05 game. The first pitch will be at 6:40. We're doing an event beforehand, like a HEX meetup, my friends and family meetup, where it's going to be right across the street from Wrigley Field at a place called 365-VIII. Terrible name, but it's a great little live music venue and beer garden-y kind of thing. It's right across the street from the Wrigley Field. We'll be there from 2 till 6. We have a couple amazing artists that'll be performing. MZG Twins will be there playing. DJ Airwolf, which if anybody's like a Fish fan, he's done some set breaks for Fish in the past. So he's pretty fun and funky and will liven the mood. And then after that, we'll probably close up shop around 6 o'clock, and everyone can walk across the street and go to Wrigley to watch me throw out the first pitch. If anyone wants to get tickets, I am out of the ticket. I had a whole bunch of Airwolf is a great show. There you go, Hexacat. Yeah, he's an awesome. I'm very excited. But I am out of the tickets that I had. But you can still get tickets cheaper than for the bleachers. Cheaper than I even my package was like 30-something bucks a ticket, and you can get them on StubHub for like $25 still right now. So you want to come, grab a bleacher seat. If you want to come to the meetup ahead of time, there's gonna be food and drink there and music and stuff. So I'm asking for $10 suggested donation. It's all gonna go to a local nonprofit, So just to counter the riffraff a little bit. But anyways, yeah. So that should be a lot of fun. It's June 15th. This is a Wednesday. Come on down. If we want later on, we could do a ticket giveaway too if we want. I have some trivia I could do. Other than that, hit me up if you have any questions. I'll be around Chicago that whole week.
Tell them how they can win they can still win the home plate tickets, right?
Yes.
When they show up.
Yes. Yep. We still have 10 tickets, 10 rows up, a little block of them right behind home plate, where we'll be in good camera viewing angle. So if you're in full on HEX merch, if you've got some awesome HEX Pulse regalia all on, then the people that are decked out the hardest will get upgrades for their seats. I got 10 upgrades to give out at the event where I can, make you hopefully notable on screen at the actual game itself, And then the rest of us will be in the bleachers, where usually in the bleachers it's, general admission, so people can all congregate by each other, wave flags, all that kind of stuff is totally acceptable, So we can make our presence be known, at that way as well. There's also fun games in the bleachers too for the drinking folks among us. They should go on and watch some ESPN clips of the snake cup stacking game that they do. Yeah, that's pretty intense. Also, the cup mounds that they do. There's a ESPN the other day where the security dude knocked over this giant cup castle. It was awesome. So
that stuff's awesome.
all that fun stuff can be gotten
and
into
perhaps
as well.
hopefully not anything like the Dodgers game. Did you see that nice lady with showing as much as she had to some people.
Oh gosh.
You know, it gets rowdy in the bleachers. You know, it tends to get rowdy in the bleachers. Some people, you know, it's the closest thing the MLB has to the infield. You know, at NASCAR, it's as close as we can get.
You should tell them how you came across or came to be throwing out this pitch, because a lot of people don't know, because you haven't talked about it in a while.
Didn't suck. I would be telling the people. Internet, why do you suck?
It's crazy that you think it went away, because now we can finally see it moving again.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually were good for a second. He's on that delay.
Am I here?
Right.
Yeah,
no,
we can hear you.
I think
That's
Motley's
good enough.
gone now. I think he's out now.
Nope.
Perfect. Yes, you can go to hexmerch.com and you can still get your jerseys if you want. Rush deliver if you haven't yet.
So you gonna just throw the heat, or are you gonna try and show them a little bit of the curve, slider, changeup? What's gonna be the go-to?
I'm gonna try my very best to get it there. I can guarantee that it'll get to like across the plate. I just don't know. The accuracy is the problem. You know, if I give it too much heat, then who knows where it's going.
I told him if he wants to make headlines, do a 360 and just launch it into the crowd.
I was considering that.
Is it worth it?
Right.
Yeah,
Has anyone
might
never get to go back?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever thrown it out of the stadium?
Field.
That would be epic, man.
That would be epic. I don't know if I don't think I have that good of an arm. I mean, I
That's
could try.
serious arm strength. Yeah.
But I do like Wrigley Field. I do have season tickets. I go regularly, so like I'm not exactly trying to get removed from the premise.
Right.
Put Manatee on it. He'll do it.
There you go. But yeah, we got. I should have the movie folks out there as well. We have they'll have a film person, an audio person. So. Hopefully catching some of the good stuff at the event, the meetup, everything as well too. So,
but what I was asking, because no, you're good. We can still hear you. How'd you come across actually being able to throw this first pitch? How'd you actually attain this? Yeah.
So I'd love to say that they just heard the glory of Big Kurkowski and decided that they had to have me.
Obviously.
But that's actually sadly not the case just yet. We'll see about maybe next year. But though there was I don't recommend this to anybody, but the MLB had a charity auction for NFTs, and so there was like a NFT auction where the number one, the gold one or whatever was, they give me the tour of the stadium and whatever else, a hotel for the night, and then throwing out the first pitch. This is what I cared about. So like,
that's
I'm
awesome.
not saying like I don't really give a shit about the NFT. I own it or whatever, but like that's not gonna throw out the ball.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes NFTs can be good things. But
just bringing the mass adoption, man. Yeah. Big K is not afraid to go out there and hit all the different notes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to do.
Go ahead.
No, you got to do what you can, like, I mean, it's what I like, like I'm a huge Cubs fan. I've always been. So like everybody can find their own way to do some sort of mass appeal marketing. I mean, I know not everyone can buy a gold NFT or whatever, but like, there's all sorts of ways to do it.
Yeah, I was saying, Orca, I mean, we're not going to like delve into a full blown discussion of NFTs, but you did have a cool discussion yesterday on GRC's morning show. And, if we can just touch on that just a little bit, because I threw it out jokingly for conversation, because I'm a fan of like the HEX NFTs, like HEX toys, huge fan of those and the HSIs and stuff like that. But I mean, you were kind of speaking up for, NFTs as a whole. Like there could be some value there, especially if they're done right with the artistic, I guess, expression in mind. So if you want to just touch on that a little bit, yeah, I
can touch on it real quick. So it's just the idea that having fun during a bear market right now. So we're not like running any kind of a project or like sacrifice that needs to have like an investment. Really just trying to form a group of people that want to continue their education in Web3 and crypto using NFTs as a fun way to kind of build some camaraderie around a common theme, and then helping people understand the value behind art and the source of energy that creates art. So right now, artists are really marginalized in today's society for the most part. If you can land a solid gig, you can make a killing doing it. But many people with a lot of talent don't have the exposure, don't have the ability to mitigate fraud and thievery of their work. And so NFTs do offer like a unique opportunity for us to prove who made what, who's owned what. And so we're just coming together to have some fun and learn some of those aspects. But probably more importantly, raising the education, whether it be about security or investing or whatever it is in crypto, how to really get involved in the game so that people can have fun, be safe, not have to worry about, is this person running a cash grab course on me or something, where not all courses are bad, but sometimes you have to pay a few months until you realize like, oh, he's not teaching me anything. So this is just an easy, low barrier to entry opportunity for people to hang out. We call it Club Cat.
And take your mind off the bear market.
That's really the value probably at this point, is just stop looking at those price charts and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I will say some of the NFT stuff that I've seen, like, I'm not saying that it's all just mindless JPEGs. I mean, there's some cool stuff that I've seen in the HEX community recently with that cat stuff where like I've always wanted to, as soon as I saw it as a thing, like the virtual reality style art.
Oh, we're losing him.
We might have lost him.
Yep.
One of the artists he might be referring to goes by Mana, and she actually does 3D art, and she's going to be bringing that to PulseChain, and the art's really high quality. I mean, she's no joke. So the HEX community definitely, and the PulseChain community obviously, has some serious skills.
Did she go on DS the other night? I think I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I think I thought it might have been her, but I'm not sure.
I didn't catch the show if she did, but I hope that she's getting her exposure out there. Dude, she's got like less than 3,000 followers right now on Twitter, and it's like criminal. Like the stuff she's doing is so cool that it should be shared a lot more often, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah, that stuff is awesome. I do think that there's like definitely, it's all fun gamey stuff, but definitely a space for that kind of upgraded 3D style visual, really, full experience. I mean, if you want to have stuff that you can display in metaverses kind of idea, it's like having full on 3D, exposable like art pieces like that for people to enjoy is definitely way cooler. It gets a whole new message across than say, a gallery that just like has, straight two-dimensional stuff in it. It's I like it. And I mean, and then I saw the stuff about like attaching hex stakes to artwork, for the idea of, I mean, it's like, which makes the other more valuable kind of thing is interesting too. Like I can't speculate on it yet, but I like it. I like,
Why not both?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy the potential that you can run with NFTs, and we're not trying to do any kind of, we don't want to get into any murky water. We're not bringing any expectations to the table. We're not trying to have any like, oh, we're all going to invest and then stake it and then share it. It's like, no, it's not about that. There's just an opportunity for people to have fun together, learn together. We've incorporated artists that do VR, and we actually are looking at, so like Club Cats, the idea of like a nightclub is the first collection, and they're able to produce that kind of entity in VR. I don't even know if I'm like interested in that stuff. Like I don't spend my time in the VR world, but if a Hexican's making something like that, I would certainly get familiar and check it out because it just sounds exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there are a lot of people that do live in that world, and I've been through whatever the lobbies are right now waiting to play video games, and they basically suck. So it could be a lot. It can for sure be a lot better, like that I can agree with, I mean, and yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like keeping it light and like realizing that it's not like some, fucking, retirement investment piece going on here. It's important.
That's unfortunately the way that crypto's really moved, right? Is like everything is the shiny object for this will be the ultimate gain. This will be you YOLO your life into this one coin and you'll never worry again. And it's like, yikes. I mean, you better be picking some solid products if you're going to do something like that. But we're not really trying to solve that problem at all.
No, why can't it just be fun and shit? You know, like
Right.
I mean, I remember just playing games
like
for the sake
baseball
of it.
cards, right?
Yeah.
Pokemon cards, right?
I definitely wasn't
You do you, bro.
trading.
You do you.
Charizard.
Yeah, I wasn't trading. Exactly, I wasn't trading dumb stuff like that when I was a kid, expecting that they were going to be worth like billions later. Like as a kid, when I had baseball cards or basketball cards, it's sort of the thing when I was like, when I grew up in Chicago, Michael Jordan was huge, you know. So like that, but like I didn't expect that they were all going to like.
We'll never know. We'll never know what to expect.
He was doing pretty good. It was coming through clear.
Yeah, he's the king of anticipation.
Yeah.
I think we got you back.
We just lost the tail end, the point of everything you were trying to say. That's all.
Right.
Oh, I mean, it sounded really good when I finished it up here, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Where were we here? Yes, RG3 is going to walk up behind me at any moment when swimming.
Do you go out in the water at all, Cabana, or are you afraid of sharks?
I go out every time I'm here, bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll go in the shallows, but I can't. Once I can't touch, it's like, man, something's gonna eat me.
Oh,
bro, they could get you at the shallows too. Be careful.
Yeah, but it's like my dumb caveman brain is like, I'll punch that shark. Like I think I have a chance. Like it's not just gonna wrestle me off.
All their nerves are in their nose, bro. Just punch it.
You ever see there's channels where it's just like drone footage of just going across the beach and just seeing all sharks in the shallows around people. Like, yeah, you might not want to look into those.
I've seen like one or two of those, and I'm just like, well,
I'm out.
Last day on the beach. I'm good. Like, who's playing volleyball? I'm in.
Have a comment here from Battery79, Motley Investor. My apologies to Motley for busting your balls last time about Hedron. Thanks for what you do. I want to help spread good vibes in the community. So I guess that's like kind of a natural segue. Let's talk about that a little bit. So the coin, I mean, we've been talking, realistically about it and the supply issues that have existed and continue to exist, and it keeps getting, sold down. Long term, years down the road, I think it's all right. But at the same time, it's like bear market. It's not something that I don't think people are gonna have diamond hands on as something more so like a HEX or something like that.
Agreed.
Thank you. All right, Molly. Next.
He's being very political with that.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it, right? Like everything's going to be going down. Everything's subject to these markets. It's nothing escapes. Not even HEX. So it's gonna be tough. And like that's why like stuff like what Orca was talking about with club cats and just NFTs and just fun stuff to distract people, going outside, doing the beach thing like Cabana is, or throwing out the pitch with like Big K in Chicago, like fun stuff like that to take your mind off what's coming or what's going to take place over the next year or so. It's probably a good thing for your mental health.
Definitely. I'm having a lot of people reach out to me. The emotions are definitely hitting the rocks right now with the bear market. And inevitably I'll ask them like, well, when's the last time you checked the price? Well, like 10 minutes ago. Like, well, that might be part of the problem here. And I like to look at prices and speculate on the market and stuff, but I've been able to remove the emotion from that part of the game. That's
the thing, right? Is like you're trained to not be emotionally affected by looking at price charts. Like I've looked at price charts, every Monday through Friday, and now with crypto over the past 5 years, like Saturday and Sunday too, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, people are new into the game. It's a different story, and it's just something. I think it was Freddie quotes that was like. He says it initially to his onboards, and he's like, "Don't call me if price goes down." And in the first like 10 days or something like that, or even like the first year or whatever.
Right.
He's like, it's a volatile asset. That's part of his onboarding / sales pitch, and it is kind of cool because some people who I got in maybe like 20 cents or something like that, they're kind of like shy about putting a little more in now, and some of my more experienced investors who've done traditional markets, they're asking me, hey man, I want in, I think this is a good time to buy. Do you think it is? And I'm like, I kind of, you buy the dips, right? So I'm not going to try to call a bottom, but now is when you want to buy, as opposed to at 40 cents or something like that. But who knew then either? I mean, it's it's part of markets, and
as long as you're making money, then you're being responsible. You're not overextending yourself. Then, like you said, buy the dips as they appear, and this is an opportunity where maybe you made a mistake at 40 cents, or I bought some at 42 cents. Luckily I didn't buy it at 50 cents. I'm not sure it would have made a difference. But this is like, wow, for all the people that were jealous of early adopters, here you go, man. I mean, you're really in the game again, and your money will go a lot further. So dollar cost averaging is a powerful strategy, and yeah, it sucks. You don't know what the future is going to hold, but I think everyone in here has enough crypto experience that times change, right? Markets don't stay bear markets forever. And this is clearly an exceptional opportunity as far as the design. So I have ultimate confidence moving forward. And if you can find me an asset that's doing a 100x right now, I will change my mind and I'll YOLO into that, I guess. So I don't see them out there.
Good luck.
I don't think anyone's hunting those right now. So just weather the storm and DCA.
Yeah, this is where all your profits are made, is when you buy. And like, this is, like Orca was saying, this is a buying opportunity. This is the time you onboard people, because like we are close to the bottom. Are we at the bottom? No one knows, but like I think we are getting there, and this is a good spot to start DCAing into that position that Orca was talking about. Like we've wound back time, like over a year ago, like everyone that was complaining not being a HEX OG or whatever, like I'm looking at like what I can acquire and like add to my position. I'm like, oh shit, I can finally get to some of the tiers that I've wanted to be at for a long period of time. And I didn't think I necessarily ever have enough capital to do that, but thanks to where the price is at now, I can actually take advantage of that and DCA into the position that I want to be at in HEX. So it's an awesome opportunity.
What's up, GRC? Welcome, man.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing awesome, brother.
Hitting on a bunch of topics. It's kind of like a free-form Friday, as I'm calling it. But
how is your audio so good out in the wild like that?
I practiced right before we came on air.
Crispy, bro. It's crispy.
Was it so good?
Motley is my sound guy, so yeah. And Big K has experience in the industry as well, so I have professionals looking out for me. So thank you guys, appreciate it.
What's GRC sipping on for happy hour?
Is that Bud Light?
So we got to be careful now, because I assume he's a little more than one sip in, and it's only going to take 2 of those until he's fallen out of his chair. So.
White girl wasted.
Yep.
I get right to that 1.5 point, and it just gets silly.
Sir, it's a bear market. That should be like a natty ice or something.
Right.
Bud Light's too fancy.
A 40. I'll just drink like a malt liquor 40 next time.
Old English, Colt 45.
I tried. I mean, not being a standard Bud drinker, I tried that Bud Select, like the 55 calorie, like basically like water version. It's actually pretty good. I mean, like, it's easy to drink, very easy to drink, and doesn't like make you feel all super bloated. I would highly recommend.
Big K is such an adult with it.
What was the one that
adult review? He's just like.
What was the one that tasted sweet back in the day? Was it like Bud Light Platinum or something?
No, Bud Light Lime.
They had a lime one. Yeah.
No, it wasn't lime. It was
Platinums like hard, man. I remember drinking
Bud
one or
Light
two
Lime's
of those.
good. I have a few in the fridge.
Blackout.
I think it was Platinum. I gotta look it up now.
Like
it tastes like sweet to me.
Those were the marketing scam, man. It's funny when you see 2 Bud Lights next to each other, and one's $5 more, but there's 6 bottles each, and one just says Platinum, and the bottle's darker. And it has that alcohol's a little more, and it just gets kids like piss drunk off of 2 of them.
Yeah, I think it was Platinum.
That was the whole thing. They were like, if you get the Platinums, dude, you drink like 3, you're out. I was like, all right.
Well, that's kind of how those like hard seltzers entered the market, man. They're like, yeah, I mean, it tastes like static TV, but after 2 or 3 of these things, everything.
You don't mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's the interesting thing is like, if you get it to your buddy after they've already been drinking, they're like, oh, this is great. It's like, you're not sober.
How long is the bear market going to be for?
4 more weeks.
Okay.
Until you stop asking, bro.
I just want to know for the fun factor. I don't care about the money.
It's just like it was going up. So, like you said, that markets don't go one way forever. It's the same idea. So, like, just when you felt like
greed and fear, baby,
stop going up forever, that's when it was all over.
That's when you got to do a nice eighth of mushrooms and just freak out.
Yeah, that's. I mean, well, then maybe
But you're right. You're right.
Psychedelically time the top.
There's
but
no
yeah,
way.
same with the bottom. As soon as you feel like it's never going to be over and like it's just can't get any worse, that that's okay. Then finally it'll be the bottom.
It's not even the can't get any worse part. I just have sorrow for like the lack of energy. Like I don't even care about the money as much. Like for real. Like I mean, obviously everyone's bags go down the same percentage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like people are less amped up about like talking. You know what I mean? And
not just amped up. I have friends. I have lots of onboards that are early onboards that are like, I wake up angry every morning, man.
That's tough. That's tough.
I wake up angry. I can't.
I wake up physically angry. I look at the thing.
Come on, man.
Like the world,
Dude, Tindy's has a onboard like that. He always reads me his messages, and the dude's always so angry and so wrong about everything. I fucking love it. Like every time he sends a new message, I'm like, oh, I know who that is.
Dude, if I had a nickel I have this one onboard who, if I had a nickel for every time I heard, I'm just not used to this in Legacy, man. We just don't have this volatility. It's impossible to believe the price will ever go back up. And he's like late 50s. It's like, you've been around long enough, dude. Like, that bear markets exist, right? But when it's crypto, he's totally blind to it.
Yeah, we're down like 12% on the 365 ROI. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's not max pain. I don't care what anyone says.
Right.
That's not max pain.
Perspective.
I'm not saying that for HEX, the price would necessarily, like, it's all about value proposition, right? So, like, some coins are going to be stickier close to that 90% point than others. And I mean, HEX's value prop is just off the charts. So like people, when it gets to that point, like people will start selling their houses. I know guys that'll start selling their houses. I might sell my fucking house. You know what I mean? Like that because it gets that intense, right? Because it really, the value is just like free money at a very odd rate.
Well, I mean, that's I was sitting around doing some like math with somebody the other day where I was saying that like, okay, even at this rate, if somebody has this, is able to buy in at this price, then they're still able to make this much monthly or, quarterly in stakes. They can still like the value proposition doesn't, and not only that, but as more people unstake, the higher the APY gets, so like there's it's the system as it is designed is still going to continue to find. There's going to be a place where it finds a bottom because people are going to still want the returns that they can easily acquire. And I don't know exactly what
that 2 cent mark would be really hard for me mentally to feel like it could really break under that point. Like
be a wick probably.
A wick, if that, but like I couldn't see anyone getting 100,000 HEX for $1,000.
I really want 1 cent, so that tells me that's probably not going to happen.
Right. It's just like what Big K was saying. It's like right when you're ready to give up. It's the same with like price calls. Yeah. It's like, oh, I really would get greedy at this price.
It's the scale of fear and greed, right? And I feel like that 1 cent is the mental target for everyone, where like the greed scale just massively tips. Yeah, it's like, okay, everyone's on board. Whales, sharks, dolphins, crabs. You name it, shells that got out of the system. Maybe I'll buy a little bit back at 1 cent. Like that 1 cent mark, I think is a huge psychological target for a lot for Hexicans, for haters that might want an entry. You name it. Like I think that 1 cent is kind of that like Goldilocks zone where everyone's just like,
and that's the difference. And that's the difference between like percentage wise between like we hit 50 cents and everyone thought we were on the road to $1, and and that's the difference between 2 cents and 1 cent. Literally, that's 50% drop right there. Between those two. So like, so when you hit that 2 cent line, quick math. It's like, I mean, it's gets to be the point where every even fraction of a penny under 2 cents that you go, there's a new level of buyer resistance of people that are like willing to make that move back in, that are trying to front run everyone else that's looking at a penny. Like,
right.
So like it gets really, really resistant.
That dude sold for a pretty wrecked rate today. I think I looked at the rate. He sold like 6 million HEX that he sold for like 300 grand.
I didn't check in
like roughly 330 grand for like 6 million HEX, I think. And I think that was the low for the day. That was interesting because a lot of people have their limit orders in right now for sure.
Yeah. It was interesting what you said earlier, Motley, about like 1 penny being a psychological level, because I think like a dime for the longest time was a psychological level, and just like you were saying, it's like people are hoping to get some at a penny, or are hoping to get some at a penny or less.
Yeah.
That was the talk when we were at a dime, and I think we were going to hold if PulseChain launched, and that was it.
Yeah, I agree.
But it didn't. So
now
we're down here, and this is the next psychological level. But it's
bizarre though. Count your blessings though, Cabana. And I know you are, but for everyone listening, like this is the one time maybe ever for HEX, other than like Big Payday, where like a news event affects any of the sentiment. Otherwise, it's a mutable code running along on its own tracks. But this was like expectations of a launch. Maybe it's delayed. Okay, so recalculate what we're doing on the local price terms. But that's not going to exist very often, if ever again, for HEX. So this is a rare dip.
That twerking big PP Gucci tracksuit founder really offends me, bro. What does this talk about immutable, immutable code?
Oh, my feelings.
Yo, I never knew tracksuits could trigger so much hatred on the internet. That shit is hilarious. They can't help themselves. It's like moths to the flame. They're just drawn in.
Why the Ferrari gets like 10 bad comments?
Nothing.
Like $7,000 tracksuit.
It's like a ridiculous tracksuit.
Almost
and like
reasonable.
Big accounts too, like Sebastian Gorka. Like
millions.
How did he even see that? Like what?
Because he's creeping on the low.
Dude, he fell into like a little right wing kind of like window of Twitter. It seemed like for a while there. There was like one outlier, but that I think that was like the first tracksuit that kind of started it. And yeah, he pulled in some big check mark accounts, which was hilarious. And Hexicans were just having a good time in the thread, just like, yeah, keep it going. Tell us how much you hate this. Like,
it's the closest thing to lifting the gates we've ever had.
Yeah, it's like, go ahead, let the hate flow through you.
Right.
I love when they're driving $1 million car. It gets like he has to drive, so. But like when he's wearing like a classic tracksuit for like $5 to $10,000, I'm like, that's so reasonable for someone in his tax bracket.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Sure. Rather than like, if you're gonna say anything, like, why wouldn't you mention the G-Wagon that's like bigger than my house?
Right. I guess it's just the absurdity.
That's like $1 million rather than the $7,500 tracksuit. Like, what?
I guess it's the absurdity of what it looks like, and then the fact it is just closed, so people just like lose their mind. But it's
and
weird.
The price is listed with it.
Yeah, the price.
Like, oh my gosh. This is $4,000.
You just see the haters just like, oh, they can't help themselves. It's like I must react to this.
Right.
And then they put Richard Hart in front of their audience. Now, does that translate to sales? That's the big question. We haven't seen that yet, but he's definitely proven the concept of it does bring a lot more eyeballs and engagement than what he would have done on his own. So I think that's pretty cool. Does that translate to sales of HEX? We'll see. We'll see.
It's tough because of the. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that it's tough to know that exactly. Like, to see, like, if you look at the trends, are we still gaining, like, as opposed to other projects that are like dead fucking projects in the bear market, like dead. There's a lot of that's out there. And we still are gaining numbers of stakers every day. We're still gaining like average stake length is still going up. So like the metrics are still trending in the right direction, like as they should be. So, but you're going to when you have a huge blow off top and a big bear market, like when your macro is as fucked as we are, and delays are a thing, then like you can expect a lot of people that to sell. That's just like you can expect to have to shake out shit tons of hands, and like and until there's any kind of good news that turns things around, then like you're just gonna see some downward pressure. I mean, like it's kind of as you could expect. I mean.
It's so interesting to think how much downward actual Bitcoin, like to see everything at 11K again would be really interesting.
I mean, that means it'd be a hell of a drop.
I feel like if it hit 11K, it'd be like more so like an hour or two where you could probably hit on that. Like the 3,200 COVID dip. Like I remember we were looking at that at the time, and it was there for probably like the night. Or like a couple hours, and then it was just right back off.
It was like very brief, bro. I was there. I bought it. It feels awesome.
That's what GRC was just like, hey guys, how do I buy Bitcoin? I was trying to figure it out real bad, and I got it though. I got in there.
Well, at least like that is easy.
Go ahead.
Like a Bitcoin or Ethereum is easy for these big dips because you can just people have easier access to Coinbase and stuff. But even still to this day, people ask me, oh, stake, what's a staker app, or to have to get like a MetaMask thing. I can't do it through Coinbase, and it's like this mental block, I think, and it sucks because I think, I think PulseChain is going to help with that for sure, but that part of not being on a major exchange, that's like the one drawback, even though we can get into that in a little bit.
Sure. And convenience is huge, right? Like people really want the simple get rich quick. It's like the best marketing ploy of all time, unfortunately. But I think too, I just recall like hitting the 60s and above on Bitcoin, how many tweets you would see of people that were like, oh, I heard about Bitcoin back in the day and I didn't get in and stuff like that. Who's to say it won't be similar with HEX? And those that are willing to like see Richard twerking and stuff and go, hey, it's like a nickel. Maybe I'll go spend a couple $100 on something like that, or a couple $1,000 on something like that. Because when it does start blowing up again, we've planted so many seeds within the haters' gardens that it's like people know now, and it'll be a much easier conversion when they go, hold up, it had a ton of success previously. Obviously, things all struggled at this one chunk of time, and now it's having great success again. There's a lot of FOMO power to that.
I was doing the same thing. I was trolling Miss Stray's stream last night. I was like sending in chats or whatever, but it was along the same lines because like they were both drinking, so they were like highly intoxicated, and they were all ragging on Richard and stuff, and like so I was just sending messages just like that though. Like the guy was talking into it, and he's like, yeah, I did my research, and as soon as I saw like the Gucci tracksuit and all this, I was just like, yeah, it's scammer. Scammer's like, oh yeah, tell me about more of that product research you did into the immutable code of HEX, though. The thing that did 10,000x, and you're saying it's only at 1,000x. I was like, Mitch Ray, can you like pull up the log chart real quick? I'm like, wow, that's a great deal right now on something that did a 10,000x, earned you 40% APY, and you could just sit there and you could troll these guys, and they feed into it because whatever it is, it's just on the surface level. People fall for that tracksuit, flashiness, gaudiness, cars, you name it, and it just instantly triggers them, and they don't dig deeper.
There's something inside of them, Motley. Do you think there's something inside of them that knows they don't really research things, and then they know that there's some people that do? Like, I remember a time in my life where I wasn't as intellectually like motivated, but I still got in fights with people, believe it or not. Like I still got into arguments with people all the time. Now I get into arguments with people from a different perspective because I actually like pay attention a lot. But it's interesting because I feel there's an insecurity there because a lot of men really don't research well, and they don't believe in themselves as a leader when they're researching. Like when you're researching, you have to believe that you're obtaining the information that's correct. And I feel like some of these guys are just more like, hey, like here we are, like here's the stuff. And it's not as much like
it's easy to do it
about yield, and they're going to be like, oh fuck.
It's easy to do a quick Google search on is HEX a scam versus actually watching any of the video, anything that like any content on it. I mean, it's
for sure. And we know the media, like hit pieces sell, man. People love to think that they're like on the side of justice. So just pitch something as injustice, and then they'll take that side and bash it with you because somehow they're like helping everybody by sharing their opinion. Like I disagree with some projects, and I'm trying really hard to not pitch it as like FUD because I want everyone in crypto to succeed, and it's just not very productive. So like, you've made up your mind. It's not my responsibility to protect you, and I could be wrong. So what's really the point in going after it like that? Just absorb as much info as you can and make the best decisions you can.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Orca, because I was thinking about making a tweet about a certain crypto like that this morning, and then like I thought about it for a while, and that's just like there was no point, right? Like it's just there's nothing constructive to come from it. There's nothing that was going to be resolved, and like you said, ultimately, yes, you could be wrong. Do I think I'm wrong? Probably not. but there was nothing to be gained. There was nothing that would be resolved from it. So I was just like, I just thought better. I was just like, nah, don't need to. I've spoken my piece on it before in the past. And people can take that for as they will. But at the end of the day, everyone's got to make that decision for themselves. So like, there was no need to just continue to throw fuel onto that fire.
Right. It's big of you, because it also just stresses some people out, right? Like there's money on the line out here. So
I'm not trying to put it.
Yeah, right. I'm not trying to put the pressure down. It's already out here.
The pressure. Is that a crypto that was on the discussion list?
What's that?
a crypto that was on the discussion list, possibly?
Yeah, I don't read your list, but let me check.
Thank you.
Quick.
I
Probably.
know you don't, but
I send them to my secretary.
But you and
is it the legendary Colt down?
Motley, you and Wendy's were on a Twitter Spaces regarding. Yeah. I'll go ahead and say it, like Cult, and I know Orca has chatted about it. We're free to chat about this stuff on here briefly. I'll grant this a little time, but what do you guys think about it? I'm just not. I'm not feeling it, but I know you guys raised excellent questions, and I know Orca, you've been in on that. So you have any quick takes on that? And we'll move right off of it.
All I would say is that I want everybody to succeed, right? That's the biggest priority for me. I have no joy in people getting wrecked. Even if I can say called it, doesn't do anything for me. I just want people to continue the financial literacy education journey, because some things that are pitching solutions to problems that we really have, such as underfunded venture capitalist endeavors, they might have regulatory oversight that isn't being properly researched or properly communicated. And so I would hate for people to have the best of intentions, and it would have just taken another click on Google to really give themselves a little bit more of an understanding of what they could be involved in. But I can't speak, exactly to what regulators will do, because it's a changing landscape. And we just had like Cynthia Loomis and Kirsten Gillibrand come out with that bill for crypto. So they have some new framing that may help in some angles, may hurt in some angles. Ultimately, the real elephant in the room is that there's so many things out here in crypto. No one organization is going to be able to page through and rate everybody's project. So you might win and it might not matter.
Yeah, it's the whole. I mean, the securities thing, securities in quotes, is going to be a big thing for clarification purposes, I think,
right?
With all of this. And the other, what was I going to bring up is, well, shoot. But the securities thing is one. Oh, founders tokens. So any coin that launches and coins go to the founders or founding parties, I think that's going to be extremely frowned upon, or absolute outright targeted. Perhaps I should just say that. And I don't think that's going to go ahead. That's going to be a practice that ends, in my opinion. And it also brings up the genius, I think, of Richard Hart for how he designed HEX and just put it out there.
Well, for the founders tokens things, right? Like a lot of new tokens have figured out ways around that right now. So like you can do, like everyone calls it a fair launch, right? A fair launch. Okay, there's no founders tokens, but imagine if you designed a token, you know exactly when it's going to launch. You buy your own token on the open market. You drop. I can sit here and drop $1 million on the Motley Investor token, buy a shit ton of the coins. The money comes back to me. There you go. I just made myself founder tokens. I painted the chart green, and everyone's like, "Wow, this coin's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Let me buy in." And then I can just slowly use you as exit liquidity, and that's what a majority of these new projects do.
Yeah, and I've even been watching. I've been observing like how the liquidity pools are being used. So there will magically be some fat liquidity pool during the time when no one's heard of this thing, right? So it's the fair launch for all 7 people that know it's launching. And they'll buy millions of units in one of those 0.00000 whatever token, and it won't move the price maybe 10, 15, 20%. And then all that liquidity magically goes away, and someone's buying like 100 units, and it's like it's the best performing
advertising on the way down. So it's like they show you all the buys and sells, and they show you the gradual rate of adoption of users. So we were pulling up that user chart today, and I was like looking at the ginormous green candles. That's like, I mean, literal rocket ships straight to the moon. And then you start seeing like, this is when it was advertised. It was not advertised.
Right. Everybody got in early.
Advertised so hard. But now it's like, look at the users, look at the adoption rate. And yes, you could have a point in a perfect world where everyone's doing their best. But let's be honest.
Right. There's a lot of incentives to not do
it. Like, hey, we're trying to do like the whole like be good to people shit.
Yeah, so there's your fair launch. Yeah, all these buzzwords and stuff. Like if you dig deep enough, you usually peel back the layers and you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Got it.
Yeah, definitely. But
I mean, it's been like that since mining. I mean, like the mining fair launches, you know, it was like, oh, there's these 10 dudes who got the first like 1,000 blocks. That's so weird.
Right. Hey man, we were tweeting at everybody with all like 100 followers on the account.
Yeah, we had 3 followers when the fair launch actually started.
What's more fair than that, man? It's grassroots. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to game the system. Ultimately, like I've read the new bill that Cynthia put forward, and like I have to review it. I haven't like memorized it, but there were a lot of interesting things in there that I think can help crypto in general. I also think they missed the mark on some stuff where it's like, you're a little out of touch with what's really going on in the industry. But I heard her in an interview with CoinDesk alongside Kirsten, and then they did openly say like, this bill is totally negotiable for people that know what the hell they're talking about. And that to me is like something that we never discuss in crypto is these representatives are real human beings, and there is an actual channel of communication that you can reach out to them with. And if you kind of know what you're talking about, it would be an awesome benefit to the entire crypto industry just to start peppering them with some real digestible information, because they just want to maintain their seats in office. And if they can get 80% of people to support them because it's a better idea, they'll listen. Yeah, they'll listen.
Yeah, they're just calling them noobs isn't going to help any.
Right.
Plebs. Yeah. I prefer plebs.
These plebs don't get anything in DeFi.
Right. Did anyone see the article in there about how they are looking at stablecoins?
Explain.
They have proposed, right? This bill hasn't been accepted, and there's like an implementation schedule. So even if it does get accepted, it's like 18 months until the first review committees can really justify that they're going to fund the groups that go out and make sure that this stuff's happening. But they're pitching that all stablecoins should be 100% backed by fiat. And they claim that it's not a stable coin if it's not entirely backed by fiat collateral.
A vault full of gold next to it.
Pretty much.
Next to the computer.
Sounds like they favor USDC. Weird.
Yeah, weird. I'd never
weird. Who would have thought?
Especially when they came up to Congress to chat with them.
Yeah, interesting how that works.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, obviously the thing that they're using to like lean into that is what happened to Luna and UST. So the algorithmic stablecoins gave the rest of the stablecoin opportunities kind of a rough shake on that. But I think, it's still so far down the road, in my opinion.
Stablecoins like DAI, I feel like, it's another one that, there is backing to it, or one, there is, but it's just like whether or not that becomes the whole DAO idea becomes, an illicit, or securities organization to begin with too,
Definitely.
And then it's like, what do they like? And when you're talking about stable coins that are on chain only, that coins that stay closely pegged to something that we're not going to call a stable coin. I mean, the fuck is that?
It's a non-stable shit coin.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's it's going to be interesting to see how the framing, really changes the industry in one way or another.
Mm-hmm. We know that they're going to get their cut one way or another. So hopefully they'll help them strike a balance where we're still getting some actual utility and not just like a Fed coin integration. And now all of my crypto is Fed crypto.
Right. Well, I think Orca, like you'll be fine. Like we'll probably be fine. But like, again, we're pretty obscure, like internet guys at this point, right? Like, let's be honest, like our lives might be okay financially. If we're all in DeFi, we all study all day. Like if new things are coming out, you know what I mean? Like that's something that we're all interested in. The average person is just being dangled over a fire. Yeah. Like they have no idea what's going on. They're a little behind the government, which is like decade behind us. And it's just scary to think of like people like my brother, people that are working really, really hard on the feet. And I'm talking like own businesses, putting their whole team on their back. And I'm like, dude, you could put 3% of this shit like 3% into something and it would change your life in 1 year. But he just doesn't even he's not even at the point where he would even consider.
Most people I talk to don't know how money works. They don't know how banks work. They don't know how regulations work. Wake Dog's comment, I think there is a stable coin backed by gold or at least precious metals called like Paxos Gold Stable or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it actually tracks the gold price.
Okay, is that what it is? They don't have a vault. Yeah.
Makes sense. I think that was it's kind of like the gold ETF, like GLD.
Yeah, I'd be hard pressed to believe they've got all that gold sitting around. And I'm coming to redeem it.
I have my tokens.
Right. I have my tokens. I want that gold now, please.
Ooh,
you get a ticket
for
your gold, sir.
That's the thing too, like that. So to touch on your point, GRC, like I'm not worried about me. I have skills. Even if money goes away, like I can farm, I can do some things on the ranch that'll get me by. But with like my intentions in crypto are really to help the movement of humanity. Like it sounds cheesy, but it's so much deeper than just number go up for me. And maybe some of that's the luxury of being young enough that like I still have a little rebellious like F you government. And I get it. Some people got families, they got obligations that I don't have necessarily those things to concern myself with. But that's why I'm trying to help educate people that there is a bigger movement going on, because we see the trend of standard of living. And I don't think anybody here is like getting ready to go and throw all your money in a savings account and just hold on for the future. It's not really an option.
When you become financially free, you actually get time to actually ponder these things and look into this deeper and see the bigger picture, right? Like that's the problem. Like a lot of us have always known about it, knew something was up, like something just didn't quite connect the dots. And like as you're younger, you're getting all the pieces, life experiences you need to kind of connect those dots for you in the future. And like now we're at the point like where a lot of us have gone through this and it's just like, oh yeah, this is not the way. Like people need to have financial sovereignty. We don't want to go toward these CBDC coins. Like we want financial freedom for people. Like it's not the government's business how we transact peer to peer. Like they don't have a right to 100%. This. Like, and so we're more focused on the big picture stuff now.
Definitely. It's vital, man. If nobody fights that fight, you can kiss your gains goodbye. I mean, we have seen the takeover of, I mean, we were joking, ironically, because we don't have 90% of our wealth in gold, but gold became a paper ticket exchange commodity. Yeah. And when stuff like that happens and you build derivative markets, they got their claws into it. And as soon as you have these oversaturated derivative plays coming out of these markets, there's so much more money to be made on gaming volatility and flat out manipulating markets that there's no true benefit to those that have that power to provide gains on the underlying asset. They'll just milk you for all you're worth, and they'll keep playing psychological warfare where people look at Bitcoin and they go, okay, 6 million X, and then, well, now it's down on 30K. Okay, well, it'll go to 300 million next bull run. Like, I don't think anybody in here feels that way. And so there are, either it's the law of diminishing returns or maybe it's this derivative saturation market or a little bit of both. But when these mega regulators get their hands on stuff like this, it doesn't seem to pump price very much.
Yeah. And that's what you see, like the Bitcoiners becoming what they hated. All this regulation, government, big VC, like everything they originally like stood against and were not for, like now they're taken with opening arms, like they welcome them in now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. They, because they make that moolah on the mining and they've got plenty of liquidity to short the asset that they're mining. And there's money to be made on market go down, but very few retailers embrace that philosophy. And ultimately, I think that shorting markets, it's only acceptable in my eyes to the same extent that speculation makes price go up is acceptable. And so since I do play that game, I do play speculation on price go up. It's probably fair that you say price go down. But if we just had a true like scarcity model and a supply and demand free market, I'd be fine to compete in that as well. And I understand people sell for profits and sometimes the price will be affected by that. So it's a complicated world. Unfortunately, I think the two buzzwords that I use lately are convenience and complacency. And people are so dependent on convenience to justify their exertion of energy that they become complacent. And when you become complacent, people that have more power or money than you can begin to move pieces on the game board that flow energy into their pockets, as opposed to maybe what DeFi is trying to solve for us.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, like Bitcoin. I always think about Bitcoin when we talk about HEX so much, and then I think about what Bitcoin had to go through in that 13 years of just like sell pressure a lot of the times, like with no real game theory backing it up other than the fact that it's speculative to the upside. I mean, really, but think about it.
For the cypherpunks, I mean, there's that movement of like, we can create a ledger that you can't control, quote unquote, you can't control. So there was some of that, but when you're playing in a much smaller pond, the distribution is real. I mean, you can't just have, I've got buddies that have so much Bitcoin that they can't sell it. It would destroy Bitcoin. And they are the ones that provide liquidity so that people can play their speculative nonsense games on the options market. Crazy. Because the distribution model just isn't effective. And HEX solves a lot of that with the guaranteed 3.69% inflation built into the code. Now, I know it's less than that typically because of staking, but unlike Bitcoin, where maybe it's like 2040 or something, where there will be a finite supply, that's bad economics. We know that a small amount of inflation to offset hoarding is extremely beneficial, as opposed to, well, I'm going to gobble up all of the goods. Well, you can't eat HEX, you can't eat gold, you can't eat Bitcoin. So you don't want to own all of it. You want there to be a healthy distribution so that there's the facilitation of transactions peer to peer. And that's where I think Bitcoin is like a phenomenal, it's a phenomenal structure for a lot of reasons. But if you really want to believe in it as a currency, I think it doesn't necessarily satisfy some of those qualities that are required. But I think HEX fills in a lot of the gaps there.
It definitely fills in a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's always
just while I'm thinking about it, shout out to my man while we have great viewership right now, DJ Cryptomatic, for free gaming our show once again. And
dude, Cabana, what exercise are you doing, bro? You're yoked.
I am doing the HEX Fatness Challenge.
Dude, that
body fat reduction.
That man runs a freaking marathon every day.
I've heard he's a runner,
swear.
Dude.
Yeah, he's a runner.
And he's tan as could be, which makes you.
I remember when I met him in person, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go on a quick like 6-8 mile run. You want to come?" I was like, "Hell no."
Yeah, bro, I'll meet you halfway. In my car.
Yeah, you will lose me at mile 1, sir.
And then we went to go out and eat pizza and drink beer. But
yeah, that was more my style.
Right, that's my speed. I can marathon pizza.
I'm looking forward to that next. I guess it's this coming Wednesday, Big K. I'm going to ask you offline for a pizza place. You know, give me a Chi-Town pizza joint, because I gotta try a deep dish out there.
I mean,
dude, pizza, it's lasagna. So we call that lasagna.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, hold on, Big K. Would you prefer deep dish or New York style?
New York
deep dish for sure.
Deep dish, really?
Okay. Yes.
You're
okay.
lying,
But but there's even more to it that you have to appreciate. See, if I was a deep dish is like a thing, it's like an occasion specialty thing, Even people from Chicago, majority of people from Chicago do not eat. If I was to go to a friend's house and say, "Hey, let's get pizza," everybody that I know would expect that we are getting thin and crispy, square cut pizza. That is the traditional Chicago style. Square cut, thin and crispy, super
square
crispy,
cut,
like bottom layer crust. Yeah, that's like, and like maybe some Italian sausage on it and some peppers and onions or something like that. That's traditional.
Got it.
No. Deep dish is great. Don't get me wrong. No. I like deep dish a lot, but like it's a thing. You'd say to somebody, "Hey, do you want to go get deep dish?" Oh,
if you get deep dish before you do anything, you are no longer doing the thing.
That's the day.
It's literally a bread bowl filled with lasagna.
You are a mute. You're like, I forgot what it's like to be a human. There's so many carbohydrates running through the
bloodstream.
Yeah. It's like each slice has probably a pound of cheese in it, like 3/4 of a pound of cheese per slice of like real good deep dish pizza. So like, no, yeah, you are ending your day. You can go camping after it because you're gonna be like you're gonna be plugged up for like 3 days straight afterwards. You know, it's great.
Well, I mean, I feel like if you're saying if you're from Chicago and you guys say that you're gonna order pizza, you guys expect like a thin crust kind of. I know Chicago style, but let's just say New York style too. Like, I think you're saying that they have better pizza than deep dish, bro.
No. New York pizza typically is like it's a different style of it's always going to be the triangle cut. It's always going to be very like it's not nearly as crispy as this is like. Almost,
well, if they get the old like wood fire,
like that, you know, it's
wood fire.
You know, so it's. Am I frozen?
You're good.
But we can hear you.
You've been frozen like this entire stream.
Throwing up gang signs.
Everybody throw up your gang signs.
Hey, I think Mango Junkie's got an important comment. Stop bashing carbs. I can get down with that.
Where's it? Dude, it's not carbs. It's like 3,300 grams of carbs in like 30 minutes.
The Chicago diet.
Kill any human. I always do that. I go to like, if I go to Chicago or something, I'm like, guys, let's have a good time. Let's get going. And then we go to like a restaurant and sit down. And I have one piece of pizza, and I'm like, I will not go out at all. I'm
taking a nap. I'm gonna sleep right here.
And then you drink a beer, and you're just like, zero chance. I'm moving.
But we gotta ask Big K.
The thing is, we're strong. We would go out after that, you know. I'd still crush it hard and still rage
You're a beast.
He's more the man. I mean, so what's the deep dish spot then in Chicago? Yeah. What's the spot?
So if you're gonna do the deep dish spots, there's a few different ones that are like amazing. Gino's is really good. Giordano's is okay.
That's like mainstream, right?
Yeah, that's the one that's like national. You'll see it all over the place. Yeah. They're okay. But Gino's East has an amazing spinach pizza that like their spinach deep dish is off the chain. And then there's also one called Lou Malnati's that they do like they have like this super cornmeal crust that like is like really cornmeal based and like and they also have a gluten-free pizza there that is just the whole crust is made from sauce. It's just made from sausage. It's just sausage.
Okay.
And isn't it actually kind of like crispy sausage too? I've seen pictures of it, man.
Yeah, so that's another thing too, is that there's two different types of sausage in Chicago. You can get like crumbled Italian sausage on your pizza, or you can get like a pattied, like some places do the entire sheet of like pizza will be just a layer of sausage too, like layer of cheese, layer of sausage, layer, you know, some of them do like just flat like
grease on top.
Right.
It's insane. So yeah, that's like those are some of my favorites. There was a place by me called Perry's that used to be great. But they are no more. They had a barbecue. Like if you're gonna do the thin and crispy Chicago pizza, a big like one of my favorites is the barbecue pizza. So like you do some bacon on it, barbecue sauce instead of the red sauce. It's fire.
Someone please get a screenshot of the 5 gang signs that were.
They will.
That was.
I think for me that I used to date a girl that lived in Chicago. And so when you said like, you can't just only eat deep dish, I disagree. There is an edge case. There's an edge case where if you travel to Chicago to see a girl all the time, then you might actually eat deep dish regularly, almost too regularly. And I think like Giordano's was like, all right.
Out of context.
Hold on, let me get my scratch pad real quick.
And then, but Lou Malnati's, man, I was like, do you guys need anyone to work here, or like, what's going on? Like, I could use the discount.
It's like you have the Twitter account for Richard Hart, the out of context Richard Hart. This is the out of context Orca.
Yeah.
Oh man, that shit's awesome. Yeah, there's some great spots. Actually, while we'll be in town. Right after the game, I think like a week afterwards, is Taste in Chicago, which is like an event that they do at Grant Park where like 2-3 weeks, they have good music. All the restaurants in the city come out and have like little booths and you can get tickets. And it's like a couple tickets for like a little sampling of whatever the hell you want. And like you can sample basically every place in the city all at one spot. That's a kick-ass.
I love that stuff.
That will, yeah. And it's in Grant Park, and there's usually good music. I've seen a bunch of kick-ass bands there, you know, that they'll play for free, you know. So that's definitely a welcome event as well.
I'm gonna be jacked when I have some money, dude, because I'm gonna be eating all sorts of shit.
We're going round into the next.
I don't eat jack shit.
That's what I spend my money on is food for sure.
Dude, I can imagine because I'm not the type of guy who really gives a fuck about doing like I don't love going out and doing that kind of stuff. Now I will to see friends, but I don't love going out. I have more so anxiety about leaving my routine. But in general, like fuck, what were we talking about?
Just pizza, I thought. I was listening to sausage crust and cheese, and
dude,
I was over here like, oh yeah,
oh yeah. We can do a whole segment on the Chicago style hot dogs too. It's a whole nother thing.
No way, I don't eat any hot dogs.
You ever had a Seattle?
I love hot dogs.
Okay, no,
so Seattle dog.
Go to do if someone's looking for something to do in the city that's off the strange thing to do. Go to do a tour at the Vienna Beef Factory. Because the Vienna Beef Hot Dog Factory is a pretty insane sight to. Well, it's all 100% beef hot dogs, right? And it's not just 100% beef hot dogs, but it's like if you go and see the tour, you watch these incredible. Like no, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying, Cabana.
I like the Frankenstein hot dogs. I'm okay with
it. Like filet loins and kick-ass ribeye loins and everything. Like the best cuts of meat get ground up and put in those hot dogs. It's not garbage. So like you'd think like, oh, this is garbage. No.
Molly's like, I'm out.
I got like a mental image of the butcher just sweeping up the stuff off the floor. Like, yeah, this is gonna be a good hot dog.
This is not the case at all.
I love a dog, man. Come on. And I love
Chicago style dog, that's like the mustard and onions, right? Or like a relish. You guys do some weird shit.
Well, you'd call it like dragging it through the garden. So basically you can put everything on the hot dog except for ketchup, So you get the poppy seed bun, you got like mustard and relish and onions, and you'll get like these little sport peppers, these little hot sport peppers, maybe a little celery salt on the top, a pickle, some tomato slices, all that. Then the relish is usually this like insane, strange neon green relish that you're like, that cannot be natural, and it's definitely not.
Can I tell you why hot dogs aren't a real food? Because all those other ingredients you just described could constitute a salad, and I've never seen someone slicing up a hot dog to put in their salad. So the hot dog is like the made-up unicorn food in this whole equation.
Dude. I remember in Orlando, like they had this food truck out there that had these hot dogs, and they put a chicken skewer in there, and then caramelized onions, toasted bun.
Oh man,
it hits so good when you were drunk. It was good. It was really good.
No, there's like all these little. There's a lot of little hot dog or like shitty food restaurant places around Chicago that do like your fried assortments of usually it's hot dogs. And the other thing that I would try if you're in town is an Italian beef. Like Italian beef is like something so like that's going to be just like this really soft made in only in Chicago area, this ganella bread, and then just shaved seasoned Italian beef, and that is what there we go. That's
We're just don't worry about us.
It's a sight to behold. There's some awesome places for that too. Luke's does a great one. There's Al's Beefs is all right. There's a bunch of different places around the city that that do fantastic beefs. It's another Chicago treat. If you can do it like with sweet peppers, hot peppers, with cheese, without cheese, all wet and dipped in the sauce.
Dude, I become inhuman. You give me a little au jus to dip that thing in. It's like, don't look at me.
Oh yeah,
I'm in this. Like, I don't have time for people to look at me right now. It's not going to be pretty.
I've been putting habaneros on everything now. Oh man, I'm loving habaneros. So
love
good.
It, dude. So I'm big on peppers, man. I can eat anything with habaneros, jalapenos.
It's just such a rich flavor too, and the heat. I love it.
Very low calorie.
Well, so when you get the hot dog, you got to make sure you ask for the sport peppers because they do have some serious kick to them. But like, I only find these peppers. I don't know what the hell actual kind of peppers they are because they're like only found.
They're growing under the counter, man.
I don't know what the hell peppers these are, but I don't see them anywhere else around the world. So
yeah, I was going to say, Mr. DJ had a good point about bread because bread is important with certain, sandwiches, and kraut, I think, makes a good hot dog as well. So you get a good kraut on there.
Very true.
That's a good call too. So
what's your go-to? So Big K told us the sesame bun. Or poppy seed bun. What's your go-to for the for your hot dog bun? Are you in the poppy seed class? I don't think I've ever had a poppy seed bun on the hot dog.
Me neither.
Yeah,
potato rolls are classic.
Yeah,
Nice.
potato rolls are pretty good too. But the poppy seed in like Chicago is pretty standard. But there's a place that doesn't exist anymore. There's actually another place that the people that work there that I'll recommend called Hot G Dog. It's like a amazing hot dog spot. But like, so the place before that it was called Hot Doug's, and Doug was the son of Wizzo the Clown from like Bozo and Friends, if you remember.
Wow.
Bozo the Clown. You know, so anyways, Doug ran this incredible hot dog joint. I mean, I'm talking like it was only open for like 4 or 5 hours a day, and at like at 10 in the morning when they opened, there would already be like a 2-hour long line. I'm not kidding you, like every day of the week. And I mean, the hot dogs, the regular ones were fantastic, but the specialty dogs, they had like 10 different time of all sorts of like, you know, kick-ass meats and shit that they would do to hand pack these sausages, and there'd be like an alligator one or a elk one, and full of some weird cheeses you'd never fucking heard of. They had like this amazing duck sausage with foie gras on it. It was like a $20 fucking hot dog. It was insane. It was. I mean, the place was incredible, and I miss it greatly. But I highly recommend Hot G Dog, because all the kitchen staff that he had working for years, they opened up their own place called Hot G Dog. So it's like similar, so like same ingredients, same kind of hot dogs and everything, but it's not the whole hot dog experience anymore.
Well, if this bear market lasts long enough, I'll get into the hot dog game again, just so that I can persist.
There you go.
Yeah, there was
also,
a funny comment earlier. Somebody was like, "It must be a bear market because we're talking about hot dogs and food." So yeah.
Right. Well, we can't talk about the price.
We're trying to lay off the HEX price, guys. We're just trying to talk about something else, okay?
What's everyone drinking on? I saw a Cabana Cheersing, but I couldn't read the label. What's everyone got today?
This HEX Orca is a Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Wow, adventurous. Monster. We've
Monster
got
Ultra Zero.
Serious DJs in the house there.
Caffeine is my drug of choice.
I love it.
This is called the Spice Chest. It's from Cooper's Hawk, which is a winery chain nationally that makes their own wine as well. It's their wine of the month, Spice Chest. So
they have a Cooper's Hawk. They have a Cooper's Hawk in my area.
Very cool. I'm just drinking water, y'all. The fast is still going. I got a day left.
How many days are you doing? What was it, like 4 or 5?
Doing 7. I'm on day 5 right now, or day 6. What day is it today?
And so
I'm
is it just water? Are you replacing electrolytes? What are you doing? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, you bet. I'm doing mostly water. Like, I'm trying to stay as hydrated as possible. Yeah. And then a little black coffee, usually like in the morning, because I will lay in bed all day if I don't have like a little caffeine kick. Yeah. But then I do like a little pinch of salt on the tongue, like a little pink Himalayan sea salt. Or if I haven't this time, but like if I was super adventurous, I'd do like a little dabble of hot sauce, like 0 calorie, just like cayenne pepper hot sauce, something like that, just for a little salt and a little flavor.
So the salt just helps to bring your electrolytes back, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because I tried to do it just water, and I didn't like replace any of the salts, and I made it to like almost 3 days, and like I just started to get like this like just kind of head fog and shit. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna eat now.
Yeah, dude, it
didn't work out well.
I didn't know that either. The first time I tried fasting, I did like I think it was like 2 days or something, and I got like wicked headaches and like just really groggy. And then someone's like, "Well, have you been replacing salt?" And I was like, I can't eat. Like, how much? And they're like, "No, you idiot. Like, your body needs the salt to work."
Is a pinch of salt enough a day? Like, how much you have to consume?
For me, honestly, like this time through, I think I've only resorted to salt like twice, like 2 pinches of salt total, and this is like 6 days now. So yeah, not much at all. And honestly, like I have enough experience doing them now that I feel like my body kind of responds more consistently. It kind of knows. It's like,
once we're doing this again. Got it.
Yeah, got it. And then, so I don't know if last night I was like up way too late. And then when I finally fell asleep, the last dream I remember having was me like sneaking down into my kitchen and having like pumpkin bars with cream cheese frosting.
Oh,
and as I was going to eat them in my dream, I remembered I was fasting, and I like threw the pumpkin bar away from myself. And I like
your dream.
Yeah, dude. I ran into the bathroom and I like wiped the frosting off. I was like, I can't eat anything yet. And then I woke up and I was like, oh wait, damn it! I should have enjoyed that pumpkin.
I should have enjoyed it in the dream.
Yeah, dude.
No,
oh
we should.
Now that's some discipline, guys. Dream version of HEX Orca was like, no.
Dude, it was. I felt when I woke up, I really felt in touch with like my ninja focus. I was like,
Yeah.
you can't even fool me in the fake world, man.
That's intense. That's intense.
It was funny, and I wasn't hungry when I woke up, so it's like, I don't know. My body obviously is craving stuff, and it knows that it would prefer to junk out. Dude, I have horrible eating behaviors, but ever since the crypto fitness challenge, I was like, let's get serious, man. I'm not getting any younger. The 6-pack is a distant memory. Like, we got to start somewhere and work our way into this stuff.
How much have you lost during the fast, weight wise?
During the fast, I think 6 to 7 pounds.
Okay.
And since and it's not water weight. Like, I've stayed fully hydrated and stuff, so there's some real weight loss there. Since the crypto fitness challenge, I think I'm down 26 pounds.
Ooh.
Nice.
So,
when does that end, GRC? Because I need to get going on my cut game.
I think
still in the bulk phase.
Yeah, I'm still.
I can look at the exact date. Hold on, I gotta look.
It's like the end of July, right?
It's on the website. Hold on.
Yeah, because I need to start cutting. I don't have the shredded genetics that GRC has. I gotta actually really
fiber.
I don't, dude. I know people don't.
Bro, I've seen your calves.
No, I know people don't think it though. And yes, I am like a kind of lean person in general, but like I was never lean when I was really young. I was just like kind of normal. But obviously, I don't eat much.
Yeah,
I really
don't
don't.
need to.
And I trained myself to be that way because it makes my life easier and cheaper. Like it. As a bodybuilder, you just want to do it as cheaply and as easily as possible. And it really, not eating till 4 to me is like, it's just easier.
Well, bodybuilders turn eating into a full-time job if they're taking it seriously.
Well,
like
trying
to put on mass, they're eating
right?
like 8 meals a day constantly. Doing like, I remember my buddy was eating like upwards of like 6,000 to 7,000 calories a day, and it was like a work. He hated eating by the time he was done
eating.
Yeah.
Ethereum's dumping pretty hard. It's a dumpy poo. Ethereum was 1840 today, and now it's 1680.
Sir, why does it say your website is offline?
Fuck.
Whose website is offline?
Gym rats. I was trying to see when the fitness challenge ended and said this site's offline for updates.
It's a Friday.
The challenge is over, son.
Right.
It's a Friday, and it's the 27th. Oh, I've been taking the fitness challenge pretty seriously. But again, I haven't been able to gain too much weight. I've tried, but it's so much easier just to study and not eat. Like, that's my biggest thing. It's like eating, you have to like get up, get your credit card out, give it to someone else, give them money, and then you're like, by that time, you're like, yeah, I'll eat eggs and potatoes. Fuck it.
What? No way. With Uber Eats, I can be like, boop, boop, bring me food to my door.
I've never
Bring me my
Uber Eats,
food.
big carrot. I've never Uber Eats once in my life.
Uber Eats and DoorDash
you should to keep your fine physique,
horrible
sir,
investments as well.
Never ever download that app.
I like to interact with the people still. I still like to have like the
You
interaction.
can interact when they bring your food.
I like people too. I just know that if I, can take a break from them for periods of time, I'll like them more. That's all.
Dude,
Yeah, for the rest
my
of my life.
my Amex cards give me a free Uber Eats. So
True.
I gotta use it.
I get $15 a month of free Uber Eats. So I got
the platinum and gold, so I get 30.
Oh, nice! There you go.
Yeah.
I would love to do like what the average Hexican spends their extra funds on, and I guarantee like 20 to 30% of it would be like DoorDash and shit. Like, because I could see Wally Wrist right here. If I had, I swear to God, if I had like,
I paid $20
if
for
I had an
month,
extra $100,000, I'd DoorDash every fucking day, no matter what. Literally, because they come on.
I did use it the other day. Man, it was a little frustrating. I used it to get some mint jelly for some lamb that I cooked. Lamb mint jelly goes really well together, you know. And I didn't the mint jelly didn't put me over the $10 minimum limit, of course.
Yes.
So
yes,
I had to,
the limit.
So I added one mango, right? Oh, hang on. Did I fucking
just you're good, bro. Keep going. We can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. So I added one mango to the order, and then the girl messaged me that they didn't have the mint jelly and proceeded to bring me just one mango.
Just one mango.
It's like, God bless it. Fucking, I don't want this mango.
Are you a chef of sorts?
I mean, I do like cooking. I have some decent skill. I used to work in a restaurant and cook for, a pretty nice restaurant.
I would never buy mint jelly.
No. I mean, and my specialty when I worked at the restaurant was sauces too. So I can make a mean hollandaise and all
nice
sauces, béarnaise and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's and yeah.
Jesus, Wally's first.
This is like Rug Central Station, man.
It is.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I think it's as good a time as any to call it, because we've been literally talking about food for like 20 minutes, which is great because we've kept like the audience. So I love this freaking crowd, man. On Friday nights, love you guys in chat. You guys like just hang out, whatever we talk about. It's just a cool hangout. Can't wait for that. Just gonna plug the Chicago first pitch game for Big K one more time. We'll go around the room really quick. Show yourselves, Motley Investor. Go for it.
Yep, Motley Investor everywhere. Go get some merch from hexmerch.com for Big K's first pitch, so you can go get the home plate seats. Good luck being SJ. I know she's already got like the Hex gradient dyed hair, so she's got an edge on you even if you do buy the merch. So good luck with that. Go join us on our Telegram, Legion, t.me/Legion VC News. And me and Tindy's and Nikki Crypto are working on something, so stay tuned for that.
Yes.
I'm already following.
Yeah.
Big K.
Yes.
Still the trip one more time.
Chicago, less than a week away. We're talking Wednesday, June 15th. If the Hexicans are out, come out in force. There's going to be a meetup 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at 365-VIII. It's right across the street. It's on Clark Street, right across the street from Wrigley Field. Come on out there. We'll have good music. MZG's playing. DJ Airwolf's playing. There's a beer garden for people to hang out and enjoy themselves. There's like right across the way, there's Gallagher Way, which is like this nice open field for the kids to play ball and games and shit. And then at 6 we'll go over and watch me throw out the first pitch at the Cubs Wrigley Field. I think it'll be 6:40 or something, so be in the stadium by then. And then the game starts at 7.
Are you gonna rock? Are you gonna hit it? Are you gonna throw a rocket?
I mean, I'm going to throw it as
time will tell.
I'm going to do my best
rocket,
to
dude.
get it there, man. I'm going to do my best to get it there.
Warm up.
I can't.
Dude, I feel like
if you throw a rocket, there's more chance for it to go wrong. So let's see it.
I can confidently say I can get it there without an issue. I've been throwing the ball 60 feet isn't that far. I can do that. Now, am I going to make it a strike? Is the catcher going to have to run this way or that way or up here or something? I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one. I'd say 2 out of 10 are dead on. What I'm throwing. So we gotta.
I mean, we've always seen like bad first pitches go over or way off. Has there anyone ever just done a spike?
And
like
probably
right to the ground,
like Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
Conor McGregor had
walked
just
off, just like hit the mound and walk off. Just fucking
max virality. It might be worth incorporating like a softball throw, like something just a little, just a little bizarre to get the extra clicks, get the news articles out there. And then just pray that there's a big enough net to protect everybody.
And then say something about the LGBTQs or something, and then we'll get like some crazy press for that.
Oh my God.
Outrage marketing engaged.
Yeah.
Orca brother, tell us where we can find you.
For sure. So Crypto Curricula on Twitter. If you can't spell it, that's why you need to find it. I'm all about trying to help educate people. And I'm working on a website right now that's got a ton of free content. It'll basically take like my life's journey through education and cut out all the nonsense that I never needed to pick up and boil it down into things that might really give you some healthy perspective on markets, on crypto, and tips and tricks that I've been able to use to help myself out. And then tomorrow and Sunday, I'll be doing a Twitter space for Club Cat. Again, it's totally free. It's just a fun hangout. We cover a lot of things, even like the fun that we're having in here. That's kind of the energy that we bring to it. But we'll be discussing how the community can come together to make things interesting and help out some artists along the way, possibly. So that'll be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time, as well as Sunday. I haven't picked a time for Sunday yet, but that's all I got.
Awesome, man. And GRC, I know we can find you just about every morning, but tell us once more.
Crypto in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, every single day, guys. Every single day on YouTube. Jim Rec Crypto on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, every single day. I'm a big Club Cats guy, too.
Nice.
I'm a big Club Cats guy. And it's just plain and simple. Now, if I come out with my own, it's going to be Club Rats. And then, we're going to have trouble here. But no, but for real, it's the bear market. So we're keeping it spicy over on my channel, talking about stuff that's more fun. Obviously, I tell people exactly what I invest in. And to be honest, I wouldn't dare put my money anywhere else. And that's just where I'm at, right? Like, I couldn't even imagine pressing the buy button on something else at this point. But I mean, when you're doing a show, you obviously want to cover. And when you're thinking about projects for yourself in the future, it's good to hear some of these concepts like cult and some of these things because, there is game theory there and you can incorporate it if you have an idea like for 5 years in the future or like these little things you pick up along the way that other people have. But again, like I can't imagine putting my money anywhere else but hex.com right now.
Rock on, brother. All right. Well, that is it. I'm getting a low battery warning, so I'm going to sign off while I can. Thank you, Motley Investor, Big K, Orca, GRC, just everybody in chat, just for having another absolute blast with us. We might do a midweek happy hour with a special guest next week. We're trying to work it out. Don't know about Friday, but stay tuned on Twitters and all that. We'll keep you posted. Thanks again, everybody. Awesome, panel, great chat, and love you all, man. We'll see you soon.
Good seeing everybody. Twerk after the strike.
Yeah, right. Motley, there you go.
Motley,
drop it low.
Petition for Motley to twerk. We need that.